so much is happening. As we sat down to dinner, this was in the restaurant, and the headline is "Terror Returns," and it says terror returns as Boston is rattled as America goes on alert. What in the world is going on?
Well, I believe that God's wanting to get our attention, obviously, and in getting our attention, He allows certain things to happen. He could stop anything, but there's a whole judicial system of God that He works through. And everything God does is full of justice. There is no injustice in Him. And so what we're talking about today is this issue of what I call, or what He called actually, the coming perfect storm. That perfect storm that He talked about was really basically this. If you remember the movie, or many of you may have seen the movie, The Perfect Storm. Well, it was an alignment. In that movie, it was an alignment of three weather systems that suddenly came together in an unexpected way that had never happened before. And that's the same thing that He was talking about when He called this the coming perfect storm. About 5 events or 5 types of things that were going to be happening that had really never happened before, had never converged before. And those 5 things were the area of religion, politics, economics, war, and geophysical events. So there would be several things. It's not like one thing in each of the 5 categories. It's many things in each of the 5 categories. So a swirl of activity, a swirl of a storm, each of the 5 was a hurricane in itself. But when you brought all 5 together, it became even more concerning to the United States and around the world. It wasn't just going to happen in America. It's going to happen here, yes, but also in other countries as well. And what would be happening in other countries that then would allow this storm to even worsen as time went along. It was a 10 or so year period, not exactly from exactly this date to this day, but God speaks, and He does speak in terms of exactness, but in this particular case, He was just letting me know it was around a 10-year period of time from 2010 to around 2020. And so a little before 2010, a little after 2020, but it was a period of escalation is what He was really wanting to convey, a period of escalation of events.
When did you start teaching on the perfect storm? About 5 years, was
2007, I actually started teaching on it. I resisted. For about a year and a half, I resisted God. I tried to avoid it, but then the Lord finally put my hand behind my back, and I said, "Yes, Lord, I will do that. I will."
What's so amazing, what you were talking about in the perfect storm, is it's going to all start coming together. Those points are already past. I mean, they're already happening.
They're already happening.
So is it going to get faster and faster?
Yeah, it'll get faster and faster. It will escalate. Each of the 5 will escalate with more and more activity in each of the 5 areas. So right now you're looking at economic issues. You're looking at the stock market that is incredibly volatile. You're looking at gold that is plummeting, which the Lord really told me. He said, gold is going to go up to nearly $2,000 an ounce, and then it will plummet.
Wait a minute. This is awesome. Yesterday's paper. Mm-hmm. What is that? Gold has worst drop in 30 years. You prophesied that
years ago.
And it's going a lot further up and down. I mean, right. The craziness, people.
It's going to go down more.
Don't get settled because something goes up. Because the higher something goes up, the further down it can come.
Right. And there is manipulation in that market. There's manipulation that takes place in that market to transfer wealth. And so I told people for years, I've told them, I said, look, gold is going up, but if you're going to buy gold, you better be prepared to hold it, because it's going to take a dramatic drop, and it will drop well below $1,000 an ounce, and it will get up to nearly $2,000 an ounce. And so you just need to be prepared for that type of thing to happen. But that was just one of the economic issues that are taking place. The Lord told me about a quantitative easing that was going to take place. And now we're in what they call QE3, which is an unending quantitative easing of $80 billion a month that's being released into our economy. And basically they're printing. It's all digital, so it's not like actual dollars in your hand, because it's all digital money right now. But they're releasing $80 billion a month into our economy. That's the third quantitative easing that we've had, and the Lord said there will be when he spoke, he said there will be a second one and there will be a third one that will take place.
I love this video where you sat down with us and talked about the perfect storm. It was kind of an intimate thing you did,
Right.
where you were sharing with your friends. And so I took notes. I scribble on things wherever I have, And you said, this is 5 years ago, there would be snowstorms, and it sounded so drastic that would have 3 foot of snow.
In a very short period of time, like
Yeah,
a
it would
6
be-
hour,
yeah,
6 hour
if you-
period of time.
Did that happen?
Yes,
It happened.
It
Yeah.
sure did.
When did that happen, Lori?
Didn't it just happen?
Yes,
Just this
you know
past
what I
winter.
mean?
Yes.
And then there would be drought. We're in one of the worst droughts across America.
Right.
And that drought, the harvest would be affected. There will be shortage of food. And then the sun, and the stars, and the moon, all that.